now. Listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great.
This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it. It's time for Mac's World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
Good afternoon. It is 4:07 in the afternoon on a Thursday. Thursday. People think they tuned back in to 98.3 where it's classic hip hop now. Nope. This is 99.3. We've taken your slot for News Talk in the afternoon right here on 99.3 FM. This is Mac's World Live. I'm Chris Roloff, hosting today and tomorrow, finishing off the rest of this week. Frank is here. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, is watching the chat, and Jeb is here, and this is your show. Today is Choose Your Own Adventure Radio. We've got three things we're going to talk about today, and we're going to try to get to maybe some or all of them. I don't know. We have gotten some votes, and we'll get to those votes in just a minute. So, do you read the Des Moines Register online? This is gonna sound weird, but you should. So I mentioned, Frank, that I got off Facebook. I got on Des Moines Register Online. I think that's what I gave up. And you know why I like that? Just calm down, Frank.
Okay.
I understand you're upset. That frustrates you. I know you're enraged.
I'm upset because I no longer see your smiling, lovely face on Facebook.
I do get on there every once in a while just for sort of business or work-related things. Sometimes the only way I can get in contact with some people is through Facebook or vice versa, but let's move away from that for me. But the reason why I read the Des Moines Register Online more now is because I've decided to be concerned with what's going on in my state more than what's going on in
community active.
Right. I'd like to know what's going on in Iowa more so than I want to know what's going on in Washington, D.C., especially right now.
I'm keeping tabs on what goes on in Dallas, Texas.
You know, I'm not even doing that. I should be doing that.
Do you have a split heart?
Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about Fort Worth, because if I talk about Fort Worth, Texas, I'll start crying on the inside. You know what Lyle Lovett said?
What'd he say?
He said, "You're not from Texas." That's right. You're not from Texas. But Texas wants you anyway. Texas wants you anyway. You know, Texas is a welcoming state. Don't get me. I'm going to start crying inside, man.
Oh, sorry.
I can feel cowboy boots coming on my feet slowly. I feel better just thinking about it. Jeb, you should find some Lyle Lovett. I just do a YouTube, Google Play Lyle Lovett whenever you want.
Do you have a particular song?
It's all good. It's all good. You got to figure out how to spell Lovett, though.
That's Lovitt.
Say that again, Frank.
Lovitt.
Okay, you said Lyle Lovett?
Lyle
Lovett. Okay.
See, he's not from Texas. See?
I'm a millennial.
That's all right.
I know that stuff.
Millennials listen to Lyle Lovett. So the Des Moines Register has informed us today, this morning, as a matter of fact, that Des Moines has been identified as a top 100 human trafficking site. Des Moines has hit the list in the top 100 cities for human trafficking in the United States. That is not good news. That's sad news. Mac pointed out earlier to me that part of the reason why that is the case is because of the 80-35 corridor. We're kind of the center across America in that way. But that is sad news. Des Moines has been identified by a national anti-human trafficking organization as one of the country's top 100 sites for suspected massage-related trafficking. You know what that means, Bob?
I guess that's they hire masseuses that give more than just a massage. I assume that's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, there's a pretense that it's just massage.
Right. No.
They're not advertising. They're not advertising that there's more to it, Bob.
No,
right, because that would be actually illegal. I said at the beginning of the last hour. Do you know prostitution, soliciting prostitution, and pimping is the word, but, offering people up for prostitution. All that stuff is illegal in the state of Iowa.
Right.
In some places in the United States, it's not illegal.
You're talking Vegas?
Is Nevada the only place that it's illegal? That's legal?
Yes, as far as I know, Nevada.
Is that right? I don't.
Well,
this is not stuff I keep tabs on.
Well, let me look on.
Bob's going to look into the Google machine, and while he does that, I want to kind of read some alarming news. And the reason why I bring this up is really not to debate with you on whether or not human trafficking is bad. Slavery is bad. People being forced to do things against their will is bad. If you disagree with that, obviously you can call me, 515-244-0077. I won't make you do it. Or you could send me a text at 515-809-0993 if you disagree with that. But the reason why I bring this up is because the Des Moines Register brought it up, and I think we should echo that, make people aware of it. At the very least, Christian.
Did Rekabasu write this story?
This is not an opinion poll. This is data.
Oh, okay.
At the very least, Christian, you should be praying about this. You should be praying for the women and children involved in this, that have been enslaved in this. You should be praying for their safety. You should be praying that the wickedness and the injustice in Des Moines, the darkness is brought to light. Right, Christian? Isn't that something that we're supposed to pray about? That the darkness would be brought into light? That the deeds of the wicked would be brought into the light so that judgment could come upon the wicked? Isn't that something that we should pray? That's why I'm bringing this up. Look, I want to turn my head. I see that come up on the Des Moines Register news feed, and I'm like, ugh. But let's stop and take a minute and remember that it's real, it's not junk, it's not a stupid meme you've seen on Facebook, it's not funny, it's really happening, and it's really depressing. Let me go through just a couple of notable arrests or incidents in the Des Moines metro area in the last few years. One of the first, this is according to the Des Moines Register article, and if you go to the DesMoinesRegister.com, I think it's one of the main stories up there. Has all this data. One of the first arrests to make recent headlines came in May of 2013 when several law enforcement agencies, including Federal Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, swooped in to search a nail shop and the Asian massage parlor in Dubuque. There's going to be a lot of, Chinese names that I don't know how to say very well. Last name is Wang. 53, a Chinese national, was arrested and charged with prostitution. Wang served jail time but never paid her fine, court records show. In 2013, Johnston police... Did you have a thing about that?
Well, I was just going to say, I heard, and I did not know this, and I guess Bob maybe can Google it, but I heard last night that Des Moines is a sanctuary city. And part of the appeal of sanctuary cities, the reason they may be popping here into the Des Moines area is if we are a sanctuary city, then ICE has a harder time deporting these people because certain people in the community is protecting them. So I'm just wondering if that's part of the appeal of what's going on, why it's happening so much here.
Let me just kind of say something to that. I think your comment was sparked by the line here that it said Mrs. Wang was a Chinese national.
Right.
So here's the issue, and this really isn't about immigration. If we deported her, her life wouldn't be any better, right? I mean, if she was forced to do these things and brought to the United States from China, forcibly brought here for a wide variety of ways that they do that. This article talks about some of that. Sending her back isn't any better for her.
No, because likely her parents sent her into the slave trade, right, potentially.
Right. So this is I mean, in a way, the news is important that we know this is happening so that, again, Christian, that we pray. And that we ask the Lord, what can we be doing? How can we help these folks that are caught in this? So in October of 2013, Johnston police, that's just up the road a piece from here, In October 2013, Johnston police conducted a sting at 4529 Merle Hay Road. We're on Merle Hay Road. Our studios are. That's just north of here. In which Chinese national, last name is W-E-I. Bob, do you know how you say that?
No.
We're going to go with we.
Fine.
Okay. I'm not trying to be rude. I apologize. I'm an idiot. We, age 53, allegedly sexually fondled an undercover officer. We was charged with prostitution, and fellow workers, another 53-year-old and a 54-year-old, were charged with operating the massage business without a proper license. But the prostitution charge was eventually dropped, and we was convicted only of operating the business without a license. In April of 2015, we failed to show for a probation hearing, and one of the others that worked there was convicted of running a, quote, house of ill fame. That is what it, do you know what that is?
Ill fame?
Ill repute.
That has something to do with there's a city ordinance that uses that language, house of ill fame. I don't know what that is, Bob. If you
prostitute house.
And she was fined $65 and was moved out of state, according to her attorney.
A brothel.
So the punishment for operating a brothel in Des Moines in Johnston was $65. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. I don't know. Look, I bring this up, Christian, because I want you to pray. If you're not a Christian and you're not praying, what are you doing about it? Do you care at all? You should. This is 99.3 FM The Truth, live and local. We're going to talk more about this for a little bit. Then we're going to get into the book of Thessalonians coming up next.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride it on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I said, me up on my pony, on my boat. Now if I were Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. I couldn't bring myself to marry an old Dave. It would just be me and
I feel as though if I talk over that, Jeb, like there's something inside of me that recognizes it is wrong.
I think you're right.
That's Lyle Lovett, folks. That's what Texas sounds like in my heart. If you've ever wondered what Texas sounds like, it sounds like that.
Okay.
This is 99.3 FM, The Truth. That we don't... no radio stations play Lyle Lovett. There should be a 24-hour Lyle Lovett radio
Lyle
station.
Lovett station. Well, if you're on Sirius XM, you might be able to pick that up, like the Lyle Lovett station.
I tell you, that's why things like Pandora and that kind of stuff take off, because you can kind of control the music that you listen to. What I love about talk radio is that we can just have a conversation, you and me and you and me. Do you love Lyle Lovett as much as I do? Send us a text, 515-809-0993. Lyle Lovett is awesome. That is such a cool song, by the way, too. Just what an interesting image of riding a pony out on a boat on the ocean. He's got T-shirts that have that drawing of him on a horse on a boat in the ocean. That's just, doesn't that make you feel, don't you feel better, Jeb?
I do feel a little bit better.
See?
Just a little bit.
See? It's just fine. I know you like Lyle Lovett. A lot of smart folks like Lyle Lovett. 515-809-0993. Send us a text with a shout-out to Lyle Lovett. Oh, that made me feel good because we were talking about such a sad thing. This is Max World Live. I'm Chris Roloff. Frank is here. Bob is here. Of course, Jeff's here. We're talking about the sad reality that Des Moines has been identified by the National Anti-Human Trafficking Organization as one of the country's top 100 cities for suspected massage-related trafficking. So some notable arrests. We talked about the one in October of 2013 that happened in Johnston, just up the street from us. In December of that same year, in 2013, Marion police performed a sting on 2 massage parlors, resulting in 4 arrests after an informant told them sex acts were exchanged for money at that location. City officials eventually revoked the public amusement license of the Asian Massage and Massage Heaven after the women involved pleaded guilty to running a disorderly house. I love the sort of brothels, a house of ill fame,
ill repute.
It says ill fame.
Well, yes, but it's also called a house of ill repute, ill fame, brothel. There's a number of names for it.
I'm telling you this, Christian, not because it's funny, because it's not. None of this stuff's funny. I'm telling you this because you need to pray. You know what? If you know, because I know there are Christians that are involved in helping stop stuff like this around the country, around the world, actually. If you are one of those people, or you know somebody who's involved in a Christian ministry that helps put an end to this, can you have them call us here? Or if that's you, can you call us, get the contact information to Jeb? Could you do that for me? 515-244-0077. It's 515-244-0077. If you're involved or know of a Christian organization helping to end human trafficking, and the local people would be ideal. If you know some people in Iowa that are involved in that, please give us a call, 515-244-0077, or you can send us a text at 515-809-0993. A couple of other sad pieces here before I stop. In February this year, a worker at Mason City massage business called Asian Body Work was charged with prostitution. The employee by the last name of Lou, was age 48, was arrested on one account of misdemeanor prostitution. She was found guilty, but given probation and a deferred judgment. This is sad stuff, man. There's an organization called Polaris. They're a national organization. The national director of that organization is the organization that identified Des Moines as part of the top 100 locales for being in human sex trafficking. And here's the sad thing, guys. How they found out about this, Polaris identified Des Moines in the top 100 locales by scraping data from paid online sites where customers review sex workers. It found 8 locations in the city of Des Moines where you could pay for sex. Rochelle Keehan is the national director for Polaris, that organization. She said, "We found 45 locations in Iowa and 8 in Des Moines," she said. And she said those are conservative estimates. Law enforcement typically identifies 150 to 200% more than our initial numbers, because those are the ones that are essentially public in some sense. I mean, they're able to find them by using the internet to find these locations.
There's an old saying about insects and varmints in your house. If you see one, there's 1,000 you don't see.
Right.
So clearly, 8's just the tip of the iceberg, what's going on in Iowa.
So you're saying to yourself, Chris, you're being a bummer. You're bumming me out. Or you're saying, prude. Saying you're just some crazy prude.
Well,
stick in the mud. Well, you know what, David? Let me read this. Well, go ahead, Frank.
Well, the argument would be from some people, I assume, that there's a lot of lonely people in the world that they're not attractive-looking people, and when they're lonely and they have a hole in their life, they have a gap in their life that they don't seem to find the need to put Christ in it. And so they're just out there seeking to fill the gaps and fill these loneliness in their life. And some people would say, well, if they visit a house of ill repute, so what?
What do you think? Does that bother you? Does it bother you that prostitution goes on in your town, in your state? Does prostitution happening, does it bother you? Does it break your heart? Is it upsetting? Does it hurt you? Do you care? I want to hear from you. 515-244-0077, or you can send us a text at 515-809-0993. Always communicate with me that way. What about this? What about pornography? See, I just heard you scream at me. Prude. Oh, seriously, though. Pastor David Platt, he's a pastor in Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty well-known author, David Platt. I think David Platt was the one who wrote Radical. Doesn't he, Bob? Did he write? He wrote the book Radical, didn't he? I think that's right. David Platt.
Don't know. I'll have to look that up, too.
I believe he's the author of the book Radical. He said this: every time someone views pornography online or on a mobile phone, in a living room, or in an office, or wherever, they're contributing to a cycle of sex slavery from the privacy of their own computer or their own smartphone. Do you agree with that? You know, Frank, there are people in this country that think pornography is just fine. Whether they view it or not, they think it's just fine.
It's been mainstreamed in the United States.
People they talk like it's no big deal. There's movies, popular romantic comedies where characters in the romantic comedy films, they'll not together, but the one guy's watching it, and that's no big deal.
Well,
people scoff at it.
There's a nicer side of pornography, if there is such a thing, that tries to...
Hey, don't swerve off the road. I'm sorry. Listen to Frank. Just calm down. Listen to Frank. Hear him out for a second.
There's a quote-unquote nicer side to pornography that is trying to cater to married couples. And some people believe that what goes on in the sanctity of a husband and wife's bedroom is nobody's business but what goes on in that bedroom.
Do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
But what I'm saying is there? But there's a darker side to the industry called snuff films, where people are killed in these movies. There's the child part of it. There's all kinds of the dark side that all they want is their foot in the door and try to present the good side of it, and the bad baggage comes along with the good. See, and when I was a young man in the 60s and 70s, you had to go to some kind of a seedy movie theater. You had to visit some sort of a place that people just didn't go. And nowadays, it's just readily accessible on your you order it pay-per-view on your cable devices, your cable TV. Mediacom offers this stuff. DirecTV. What's the other one? Dish TV offers these menus. It's been mainstreamed into the American culture, and it's a big part of our gross domestic national product, our GDP. So what do you do about it? It just is bombarding you, and it's bombarding your children.
Just so you know, I want to pick up on something Frank just said. Pornography, I can't even say it without just getting torqued off. Pornography contributes to the GDP. Well, according to research at Rutgers University, the exotic massage industry in the United States could be doing as much as $1 billion a year. So it's a $1 billion a year industry to enslave people and to have them have sex for money. So we've contributed to the bottom line of the country. So we should, this is sarcasm. I'm not, no. But you see, that can't be a justification for it just because people are profiting from it. It should be more infuriating that people are profiting from it because it's destructive. The reason why pornography is destructive, Frank, is because that's not what human sexuality is. That's right. Just lust. That's just people getting all hot and bothered. And what it does, especially for guys, I can only speak as a dude. But what it does for guys is it destroys the way that we see women. You want to talk about misogyny? Okay, President-elect Donald Trump has been accused of being a misogynist. We want to talk about that for a minute? What about all the people that got up arms that he said this foul thing on a bus? Do those same people think pornography's okay? Do those same people think pornography's just, it's all consensual and all that, and it's all fine and all that?
But this is part of the problem that I had with Gary Johnson and certain of the libertarian movement is Johnson wants to put everything like marijuana, etc., on a cost-benefit analysis. So, in other words, if it helps our economy, it must be good. That's the thinking behind some of this stuff. It's like Nevada. There's nothing in Nevada. So, what is there in Nevada? Why would anyone ever visit Nevada in their life if there wasn't gambling and prostitution? Who would go to the state?
Frank and I were just talking. What about you? What do you think? 515-244-0077. 515-244-0077. No, that's James Bond. 0077. Or send us a text. 515-809-0993. Coming back, 1 Thessalonians.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rater, it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Well, hello there. My, it's been a long, long time.
Hey, good afternoon. It is 4:38 in the afternoon. We can turn that down a little bit. That's Lyle Lovett in the background. Jeb is making me feel better after talking about all this terribly sad stuff. Playing my man, Lyle Lovett. Lyle always makes me feel better. You know, Lyle Lovett's not really a fall-time music. He's kind of summertime music for me.
Does he take you to a happy place?
Oh, boy, yeah, he does. You know, I got to see Lyle Lovett live one time. One of the best concerts I ever saw. This is 99.3 FM The Truth. You're listening to Max World Live. I'm Chris Roloff, filling in for Mac. For the second hour, we're gonna have a great show tomorrow. I'm really excited about our broadcast tomorrow. Really, 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 really excited about our broadcast tomorrow because we're going to spend 2 hours learning about Safe Water International Ministries and the work that they're doing, how they're changing lives, how you and I can be involved, how we can participate in really life-saving work. You know, today we're talking about this devastating news that's come out. It's really brought it to light. It's really brought darkness into light. The Des Moines Register, good job. Thank you, Des Moines Register, for reporting this to make us aware of it. Concerns are growing as massage parlors spread across Iowa. These are not massage parlors, like you go see a chiropractor, you adjust your back or something like that. This isn't therapeutic massage. This is stuff that is essentially a front for brothels. There have been arrests the last several years across the state, including in Johnston for such things, just up the street a piece. So good job, Des Moines Register, for making us aware of that. Thank you for making us aware of that terribly sad news. But the reason why that's sad news is because human beings are important. Yeah? You agree? The person in the car next to you, that human being in the car next to you, they're important. Yeah? You agree with that, right? I hope you do. Please tell me you do. They're not just a ball of matter that accidentally appeared after millions of years of evolution. They were created specially, made in the image of God. They bear the image of God. They are important, that person. And so that's why I'm excited about tomorrow's broadcast, because we're going to be talking about something very fun. There's going to be some sadness there to it. But you've heard me talk about on 99.3 right now that the death rate among children in many remote areas around the world is 8 out of 10 children die from water, disease-infected water. We had this debate whether or not it's a disease. These scientists next to me. Look, it's infected water that really is destructive for children.
Yes, it's infected with bacteria and viruses.
Right. You know, and a friend of mine told me, it was really funny. We had swim on here once a while back, and then we went to commercial break, and Mac was talking about the reverse osmosis water system from Culligan and how we've got this nasty stuff in our water. You know, and I hear them now, and believe it or not, advertising works. I'm going to be getting a reverse osmosis system in my house because of it, because I've tasted it. We have that here, right, Frank? Yeah. That's the water that we have here, and I really want this in my house, so I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be calling the hey Culligan man, and get that. But a friend pointed out, it's really funny. You know, by comparison, you know, there's still some contaminants in the water here in Des Moines and things, minerals and stuff that aren't really the best for you. But we're not talking about that with Safe Water International Ministries. We're actually talking about infections, bacteria that make people very sick and they die, especially children die. And the guys at Safe Water International have developed a portable device that to be nerdy about it creates chlorine, and that chlorine kills the bacteria in water, and it's changing the death rate in children from 8 to 10 to 1 out of 10. I mean, we're talking about radical transformation of life. This is what the water they already get. You can actually purify their water so it's free from infections. Man, that's cool. And that's important because human lives are important.
And it's not making the water aesthetically beautiful.
No.
It's just making the water safe to drink so that you're not getting the parasites.
Right.
And things that you can get from water that give you bad diarrhea, bad sick at the stomach, all that good stuff.
Right, and we're going to talk about with those guys tomorrow. So please tune into that. If you've got any questions about their ministry, about their organization, what they do with their money, what they do with their funds, how they build these things, where they send them, how they get there, all that stuff, listen tomorrow, call in, ask them questions. I want you guys to understand who Safe Water International Ministries is. These guys, this is an Iowa-based ministry that's doing great work all over the world. So excited about tomorrow's broadcast, and so I am happy about that. But a little bit more on the sad subject. I was asking if prostitution is okay, if pornography is okay, in your opinion. The broader culture at large, much of it doesn't seem to care about either one of those things. Thinks that prostitution is okay, even though they recognize it's currently illegal in most of the United States. And most folks, unfortunately, a large percentage of people happen to think pornography is okay. Yeah. Anyway, but we got a texter. You can always text us at 515-809-0993. That text line provided by Service Legends, and First Call Bail Bonds reminds you not to text and drive.
Yeah, I think this is referring to one of Frank's statements. The fact that two consenting adults engage in such activities is between them. The fact that we as Christians are not seeing that and reaching out to them is our business. It's so sad to see so much of this going on, though.
It is. It is sad. Trying to dissect all the really cool stuff, all the great things being said in that text. Thank you for that. It is really sad. And so, you know, and I bring this up. I bring up this topic not to talk about immigration. Yeah, we're dealing with Chinese nationals, a lot of them that are here in the Des Moines metro area that are involved in these things. I'm not here to talk about immigration or that kind of stuff. This is sad because, you know, Frank, I think you pointed out, deporting people that are involved in this stuff that might be here illegally, deporting them does not make their life any better. Could very well make their life worse.
Well, when you mentioned human trafficking, I was thinking more in the realm of the coyotes who are smuggling people up here from South America across the Mexican border. And I'm not in any way slighting Mexican people because it's not really the Mexicans. It is, and it isn't, but it's more people coming from South America that are being smuggled across our southern border. And a lot of those people end up here in the I-80-35 corridor. And obviously, the Chinese immigrants aren't coming that route, but there's an issue here, and apparently it needs attention, and the Christians need to attend to it with prayer, and our county and our state and our city needs to attend to it.
Look, I'm happy to give the Des Moines Register a plug. Good job on them. You can go to the DesMoinesRegister.com. Headline is "Concerns Grow as Massage Parlors Spread Across Iowa." You can read some of the information yourself. I share this with you for a couple of reasons. One, Christian, I want you to be praying about this. There are people enslaved and being really controlled to participate in degrading activity. So pray for them. 2, the other thing I want you to do is if you know a Christian organization, someone locally that's connected to a Christian organization trying to help reach women and men and children involved in the sex trafficking industry, I would like to meet them. I want to get them on the radio, get to know their ministry and what they're doing. So give me a call here. Jeb will get your contact information, 515-244-0077. That's 515-244-0077. Give us a call. Jeb will get your contact information. We'd like to get you on the air. Or you can send us a text, 515-809-0993.
Now, Chris, you have to understand, too, there are legitimate massage facilities around.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying that,
absolutely.
we're talking about massage, and not everyone has to. They have to understand that there are legitimate masseuses.
Please forgive me. I'm just saying that's the name of the article on the Des Moines Register. Is concerns grow as massage parlors spread across Iowa, and they are not talking about therapeutic massage.
Right. There's
a lot of very good.
Oh yeah, a lot of people go to school for that. And
absolutely,
become masseuses.
Absolutely, not in any way saying that if you're a professional masseuse or something that's yeah. But we're talking about something else. So read the article. I'm done talking about that because it's depressing and it's sad, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Do we have any texts more on that, Bob?
Yeah. Well, Ari Brad's been listening in, and he's talking about how God did use the prostitute Rahab, to further his kingdom, and
he did.
Not that he's for prostitution, because they speak about it throughout the Bible,
right?
But he used the prostitute for
That's right. That's right.
Purpose.
This is not to criminalize someone involved in this. Not at all. Not at all. We're going to talk about 1 Thessalonians when we come back on 99.3.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, then Salem Radio Network News. Can you say that by memory like I can? I like saying it. Love the guys at Salem Radio Network News. Do a great job informing us. Here on 99.3 FM, top of the hour, 24 hours a day. You can hear Salem Radio Network News updating us. That is live, updated news every top of the hour. It's coming up in just a few minutes. And then Hank, the Bible Answer Man, will come up next. You can talk to Hank live right here on 99.3. Call him at 1-888-ASK-HANK. That's 1-888-ASK-HANK. And you know what? Yes, your Smarty Pants phone does have those letters next to the numbers, so you can just figure that out. I never remember what the actual number is, but you can call Hank. So we're going to wrap up this broadcast today. Thank you for sticking with us. We're going to look at, I'm Chris Roloff, filling in for J. Michael McCoy. This is Max World Live. This is your program. This is your station. It's live and local radio here. Bob's here, Frank's here, and Jeb's here. We're going to talk about 1 Thessalonians a little bit.
1 Thessalonians.
One Thessalonians walked into a bar and saw 2 Corinthians. They had a conversation about Paul. Said, what do you think about that guy? Well, the Thessalonians may have had a different opinion of Paul than the Corinthians did. The Corinthians and Paul, Paul had some strong words for Corinthians. That's very true. But he was very encouraging to the church of Thessalonica, the Thessalonians. And he says this in chapter 1, verse 6, "And you became imitators of us and of the Lord, and you received the word in much affliction with joy, with the joy of the Holy Spirit." He goes on to say later, talking about himself, he says, "You are witnesses, and God also, how holy and righteous and blameless was our conduct toward you believers." He's talking about when Paul and Silas and Timothy were there. Silvanus was there with them. And does that strike you as puzzling? That's the first question that I've got here. We have a few minutes left. A lot of times as Christians, we say, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. We tell people how they ought to be. But how often can we say, like the Apostle Paul says, imitate me? I said kind of at the beginning or at the end of last hour, what if I wrote a letter to the city of Des Moines and said, Des Moines residents, imitate me? What would the Des Moines metro area look like if people imitated me? We'd probably be a little overweight, probably drink too much coffee.
Well, if you're talking in the flesh, sure. But if you're talking spiritually, that would be a different thing.
Right.
So.
Well, he talks about his conduct here, and that's kind of, there's a physical aspect to this. He says, you are witnesses, and God also, how, this is verse 10, by the way, for those who want to look along. It's 1 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 10. Paul says, you are our witnesses, and God also, how holy and righteous and blameless was our conduct toward you as believers. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, that Paul, is he being kind of arrogant? Is it kind of, could you write that letter, Jeb, to your buddies at Grandview and say, all right, guys, you know, God is my witness. I was holy and righteous and blameless before you, so imitate me in that way. Could you do that? I couldn't do that.
Well, it is Paul, so it's kind of a big deal.
But he pooped, Oh, don't say that on Christian radio. Not allowed to say that.
FCC's listening.
The FCC's listening. You cannot say poop.
Can we say doo-doo?
Yes, you can say doo-doo. That is doo-doo is the appropriate Christian way of saying that.
So in other words, you were saying that he's very much like us today.
Yeah, I think so. Paul, didn't float, right? He wasn't divine.
Didn't walk on water.
In fact, he was a sinful wretch by his own admission.
Right.
Yeah, he referred to himself as a sinful person in other places. So now I hear the atheist there's the Bible again contradicting itself. Paul says he's wretched, and then he says he's holy and blameless. That Bible is always contradicting himself. So how is Paul able to say this, and what is he talking about here?
Well,
do you guys have any ideas?
I would suggest that when we become Christians and we convert, we're Christ is our brother. He's our master. He's our savior. He's our brother. We have fellowship with him. Paul had fellowship with him. So I believe Paul is inviting people into the club. Come and join us. Be like us. And join in this fellowship, in this oneness with the Savior.
Paul says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, for we never came with words of flattery, as you know, nor with the pretext for greed, nor did we seek glory from people, whether from you or from others, though we could have made demands as apostles of Christ. But we were gentle among you, like a nursing mother taking care of her own children.
Well, the only danger I hear there in what Paul is saying is
Frank's going to take on the Apostle Paul real quick.
Well, no, the only danger I would hear is as human beings, sometimes we don't even realize our own intentions. It's really hard to really get in with a scalpel and a knife and sometimes cut away and discern what our own angle is for what we're doing. A lot of people come to Christianity because they're trying to flee something. They're trying to flee some persecution. They want to be around a group of people that isn't picking on them. At some point, you have to take that. However you get your foot in the door, you have to turn that into a personal love and a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Whatever gets you in the door is fine.
But words of flattery? Paul said we didn't use words of flattery.
Right.
We also didn't have the pretext of greed. We didn't come to you to make money for ourselves. Nor did we seek the glory from people, whether from you or from others. Although he says that he could have, being an apostle of Christ, he could have walked into town and said, look, not only am I the first apostle of the Holy Temple, Joe Bob, I'm the apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. I saw with my own eyes the resurrected Lord. You should do this and thus and that and though and this and that for me. But Paul said he didn't do that when he walked into town. He didn't do it with a pretext of greed. He didn't do it with words of flattery. He didn't seek his own glory. He didn't try to boast in front of other people, although he said he could have. He said, but we were gentle among you, like nursing mothers, taking care of their own children. He came to the church in Thessalonica the way that a mother cares for their children.
Sure, but here's the point I'm trying to make. Where is that fine line where jealousy becomes envy? There's a fine line there. And it's the same thing with I need to make a living and I just need necessities, to where that line bleeds into greed. And I don't always know that as a human being we always can know that perfect line where we're at.
For those of my generation, I would say, well, you've got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Sure.
Right? I mean, we've got to be able to ask ourselves, why do I do the things that I do?
But if
am I doing them? Am I doing the things that I'm doing? Am I caring for someone else because I want to make a buck from them? Am I caring for somebody else because I want to impress them? Do I want other people to think I'm great? How am I living? Well, Paul had an idea here. He said that maybe we should love people like the way a mother loves a child.
It's like politicians, though. They go to D.C., and I don't think they go with bad intent, but they get in that cesspool of greed, and they end up becoming what they behold.
Yeah, don't go to Washington, D.C., folks. You heard it here. Frank said don't do it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
If you're a homeschooling family, go check it out. Go in the off-season when no one else is there. Learn about American history. What a cool thing to do. I look forward to doing that with my family, hopefully sometime soon. Hey, thanks for listening. Stick around. Salem Radio Network News is coming up next.